come for the weekends. And many of you who utilize the Save a Spot initiatives have some opportunities to have some free usage of campsites there as well. So just putting that out there, cabins, campsite shelters in the off season, our camps are not just summer camps. Tonight, we're going to focus primarily on week-long resident camp operations, and we're unique in our council where we operate two week-long resident camp programs all season, and then a short-term camp, which Jeff's going to talk about a little bit later, which has kind of got a la carte offerings as well. So when you hear us use the term long-term camp versus short-term camp, the key thing to remember is long-term camp is a traditional Sunday to Friday or Saturday program, where short-term camp may be a cluster of days. It may be day programs, or it may be half a week as far as that goes. Jeff, anything you want to clarify there?
No, I think you got it, Pat.
Perfect, perfect. I am eagerly awaiting to see the 2025 Camp Orcomen logo. I use the old one here on the webinar, but I'm at the
Well, I
edge
think
of my
the
seat.
100th anniversary is something we will still honor. I do have a traditional the diamond
Yeah.
seed view, but
Well, when you turn 100 years old, you savor it a little bit more past
absolutely.
the new year. So you're still in the honeymoon period. So here's tonight's agenda. We're going to kind of go through some basic stuff. We're going to talk about a couple of really exciting initiatives that we have as a camping program in the council. And then we're going to kind of have quick snapshots of our properties and our programs. This is not designed to give you all of the answers and all the detailed program information. This is kind of a high level flyover. The program stuff we talk about it to give you a sense of it. And then we're going to end the webinar talking about things like fees and registration and health forms and those types of things, which sometimes take a little bit longer as well. So this is our agenda for tonight. And if anybody is counting, and I know we all are counting, right? Every day you rip a page off, you're one day closer to that proper cup of coffee in camp. We are only 153 days away from our first opening of summer camp as well. Jeremy, do you get up every day and turn the page and say,
every day, Pat? Look, most people have one of those things they move with blocks, like this many days to Christmas. I have it this many days to camp. It's right there. It's on the mantle in my living room.
you have a
We move the
Manitowoc
blocks every
Advent
day.
calendar? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So our next one is it's always good to kind of go back to our roots. We talk about programs and offerings. Jeff, do you know who said this quote? This is a pretty inspirational high level quote here. Somebody really important to us must have once quipped this.
Yeah, Baden Powell.
Baden Powell, the founder of scouting. And I think that this guy was on to something because what we do in the summer only amplifies the good work that units do year round. But it is our classroom for a week with the program. We are excited to kind of kick off, and I'm going to have the whole panel kind of jump in here in a second. A kind of a new program. We identified last year at the end of the season that we want to make sure that every scout has the opportunity to go to camp, right? And we have been fortunate to have a number of foundations and corporate donors and alumni who have given money to us for the express purpose of offering camperships, which is, those of you that are new to this is financial aid to help a scout come to camp, right? Our goal is to have more of that. And so we put our collective brains together, engaged with the council's board, and created what I think is a pretty innovative program called Camp for All. And this is us more formally and intentionally going to our alumni base, going to people who are believers in the program that we do, and asking them to help sponsor a scout come to camp. At the end of the day, our goal is to raise more money, to raise about $65,000, and then turn that money around this season and invite scouts to come to camp. And so, camp people are pretty innovative, and we're also a little competitive at times, right? You'd probably agree. And so we believe in the base that we have at our camps. And so we've kind of opened a little bit of a challenge or thrown the gauntlet down a little bit here. And we've created kind of some camp teams to go around and to be intentional about raising money. The best part about whoever wins, right? The scouts are the ones that win, right? Because the more money that we raise, the more scouts that we can help come to camp and help, um, make sure that no scout stays home because of their financial situation. Now, we're launching this tonight for the first time. Despite that, people have kind of joined the cause, and without actually launching it, we've organically raised about $2,500 here. And so our hope is that once we get this out there into the kind of the public square, that more people would be interested. And so our ask of you is that if you know of alumni, if you know of small businesses, or you know parents of means that can help sponsor scouts coming to camp, we would ask them and like them to consider making a gift to the Camp for All program. And we're going to talk about a little bit later in the webinar and on the kickoff here, how to go about applying for camperships and what that process looks like. But we want to be able to give that campership committee late in the spring a good amount of resources to make those decisions and to help more scouts come to camp. So when you go to the Camp for All landing page, you'll kind of see this here where you can make a donation, you can join a camp team. We have 27 people who have already stepped up and said that they were going to be champions or fundraisers for the Camp for All program. And we believe that many hands make light work, right? So if we all kind of go out and tap some folks who are aligned with the cause, this should be a pretty easy lift for all of us as well. And so kind of just give you a sense, there are some kind of donor recognition levels. Obviously, any donation helps going forward. But we want to make it so that, for $250, you're sponsoring a scout to come to Cub Scout Day Camp, right? For $500, you're helping sponsor a scout to come to resident camp, and so on and so forth. We all don't do it for the patch, but sometimes it's nice to have a patch, right? And so if you feel empathetic to this cause, there's a QR code that brings you to the Camp for All page and get a sense of what it looks like. This is not fundraising in the traditional scouting sense. When you think of like Friends of Scouting or that type of thing, this is money that is being raised for camp and for kids to go to camp. And I think that's really important for that to be said. And this is why myself, Jeremy, Jeff are behind this 100%. And we're making this pitch in the webinar rather than Mark or Michelle or somebody else, because we are firmly behind this and believe that this is the way to go, and we're the catalyst to pitch this as well. So I guess I'll open up to Jeff and Jeremy quick, and then Mark's going to be our next speaker, so we'll let him kind of run the clean up on that. But Jeremy, Jeff, anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, absolutely, Pat. I just, to some extent, I want to echo a little bit about what Pat said, and then also give a little more information about a bunch of stuff you're going to see come out probably during this webinar. But to echo what Pat said, although we've created those camp teams that are there, and that's the fun aspect of this fundraising, the real winner in all this is the scout and the kid that gets to come to camp that may not have been able to because of some financial constraints that were there. So we are working together as a Connecticut Rivers Council camping team to help make sure that every youth that wants to can attend camp at one of our camps, and that the financial burden of that is not a barrier to get them there. It's really important for all of us to try to get every kid and every youth that wants to come to camp the experience of camp, because we know that them coming to camp makes their lives better, makes camp better. The fuller the camp, the better the camp, the more everyone has a great time and learns from each other. So really important to note that is the goal of this, is to make sure that all of our kids have the opportunity to come to camp. Now, the other thing you're going to find out is probably during this webinar, there's going to be a bunch of Facebook posts, some emails, and information that goes out about Camp for All. We waited till we were launching it right here tonight to send most of that out. So you're going to see some posts on the Connecticut Rivers Council page. You'll see some posts on the Mattituck, Webster, Roccoman pages. And then you'll also probably get some emails on the additional information as to how to be a fundraiser and how to donate and what some of those funds will be going for to help kids come to camp. So look for that as this webinar wraps up, and we hope everyone joins us in either being a champion and helping us raise some funds or making a donation to send a kid to camp.
And Jeff, part of this program too is to be able to expand our offering to some of the programs that Workomen runs. So if you want to speak to that.
Absolutely. The money being raised from Camp for All will support all the properties. So I think that's something we want to make sure everybody knows, and to support having scouts coming to our properties year round. For everybody on here, what do we need from you? Yes, we'd love to have you contribute, but also be our mouthpiece, be our promoters, tell other people in your units that this is something that is worth giving to, that it does go to support scouts at all of our camps, because people give to people. And if you recommend it to someone else who you have a relationship with, the chances of them contributing and wanting to be part of it is much greater. So please help us. Please be those advocates. Please help us make those connections.
And kind of lastly on this part before I kick it over to Mark is that we do avail our campership programs to units outside of the Connecticut Rivers Council who utilizes our properties. So you have skin in this game as well. So if you have supporters and contributors that would help sponsor scouts that come to the camp that you come to, we appreciate that as well, since we had made the decision several years ago to avail all of our units that attend camp to the campership program. So with that, I want to kick it over to Mark and kind of from where you sit.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, everybody. I'm just looking at the title of the screen here, what makes our camps special and why we're on the leading edge. And you guys just spoke about fundraising and the financial component. Our camping operations run right around $2 million annually. It is a lot of money. There's a lot of people. It's just a huge machine, a lot of moving parts. So I really appreciate that fundraising perspective to get that machine well oiled and moving. We like that case for support, going out to our donors, going back out to the community, local community foundations, community grants, and talking about Camp for All. It's what people want to donate their dollars to. Let's get kids unplugged, get them outside. We've been doing it right for 115 years, and this council especially through our 4 properties and really our 3 camps do it really, really well. I think the council's made some really smart choices over the past couple of years. We positioned ourselves well. We're in a growth phase with our membership. Specifically Cub Scout growth, top in the nation coming off 2024's membership recruitment. And we know those kids, they're going to get outside, they're going to get to the camps, they're going to make their way and transition to a Scouts BSA troop. They're going to come to a Cub Scout resident camp, a day camp, a Scouts BSA camp. That's our mission, and we're growing in that area. I think the other thing the council is doing very well is growing our endowment, and those endowment proceeds, the interest we make off our endowment, that goes right back to maintaining those properties. We have specific endowments that we're setting up for camperships, for scholarships for camp staff, for maintenance issues, and that's just really good forward thinking and good business. And then we're putting our camps right at the center of our council. I would even suggest with the sale of our scout office and moving into a more efficient space, we endowed 100% of the proceeds of the sale of that office. And we got out of the business of fixing roofs and elevator inspections, HVAC issues. If we're going to spend dollars maintaining something in this council, it belongs at camp for our scouts to enjoy. So you couple that with the expertise and the passion that our leaders have for our properties, I think that sets us apart. The smart, sound business sense, the direction from the board of directors, we all seem to be marching on the same page. This feels really good to me in terms of your leadership for decisions at camps, and everything from food service to program supplies to the safety of our kids. We meet regularly, and the leadership and decisions feel very, very, very good. So, Pat, I think it's It's kind of, let's grow that membership. Let's live within our means and grow that budget, and let's surround ourselves with engaged volunteers. Those three priorities we've been focusing on, I think, are reflected in our camping operation and feels great.
Great. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
All right. Kind of moving along now. We're going to jump right in to Camp Matatuck and Jeremy Nelson.
Thanks, Pat. So we just want to talk a little bit about Camp Matatuck and some of the programs we have to offer. There's going to be a lot of information on the screen, and these are all information and things that we're going to post on our website and that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to read it all off to you, but I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we have to offer. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at Camp Matatuck is we have something for everyone. And we've developed a program that allows scouts and leaders to make decisions about what they're going to do at camp and what experience they want to have. So whether you're a kid that's into STEM programs and electronics, if you're a kid that wants to be outdoors building fires, or whether you're the kid that never wants to get out of the water or loves flying through the air on zip lines, depending on your age and what you want to be doing at camp, we have an experience that you can have and offer multiple layers of that experience for you to have as a unit, as a troop, as an individual, and as a patrol. So we're going to run through some of those tonight, and then hopefully we'll go through some of the different things that are there. Thanks for switching that, Pat. So we've broken our program down into basically levels of different types of programs that are available to each of our scouts that come to camp, as well as our adult leaders, because we offer a fair number of adult leader programs and trainings that adult leaders can take throughout the year. So if you were to look at our first and second year camper programs, that culminates in kind of our tracks program. Our tracks program is the first and second year camper program that allows our scouts to advance on their tenderfoot, second class, and first class skills, but then also participate in the rest of the programs with the unit. So it's a little bit non-traditional in the way that we run that program. That's run in the evenings at different evening programs at different departments. So it might be Tuesday night at the waterfront, Wednesday night at Scoutcraft, Thursday night at Nature. It's not exactly true, but those may be where you're going to go to get the program offerings or the advancement offerings for those particular departmental areas, still allowing you to continue and participate with troop activities in the morning. And we run our merit badge programs at Matatuck in the afternoon. So you get troop activities in the morning, merit badge programs in the afternoon, some individual or patrol activities in the evening. And we have a varied amount of departmental offerings that fit into a lot of these different, can you go back one more, Pat, for me? Thank you. That fit into a lot of these different areas. One of the other things I wanted to focus on is we saw a gap in our programming over the past couple of years that had to do with our middle scouts, right? The scouts that had been there 3, maybe 4 years and weren't necessarily participating in some of our adventure programs and some of our higher end those type of programs. So we developed a program called Adventure Treks, which happens every day in the morning for those scouts that are looking for that next level, but not necessarily wanting the extreme levels of some of our adventure programs. So these adventure treks go out and they take those kids and they develop it into some type of activity that'll work throughout that day. Some of the examples are, this is where we might do our tomahawk throwing. We do some zip lines or canopy tours here. Orientorkeling is always a fun one, which is an orienteering course while scuba, or not scuba diving, but snorkeling. So orientorkeling. So things like that are planned activities for those kids in those age groups to keep them together. And then some of our older boy programs have to do a lot with, or older scout programs, excuse me, have to do a lot with the Adventure Treks program, some of our metalworking, shotgun, muzzle loading, and our zip lining and canopy tours. And then for our adult leaders, a lot of fun stuff. We got nature hikes, Scoutmaster merit badges that occur every week, weekly projects that are happening around camp, coffee cart delivery to the campsites, and Morning Joe, which is a meeting that happens every morning to discuss some of the things going on in our council, but also some of the things in the national movement, which a bunch of different guest speakers. We do offer a lot of troop programs, as I said, in the morning. So every morning there's a troop program or activity that your troop can participate in. Some of them are listed here. There's a lot of different ones. Every department offers 5 or 6 different troop programs for you guys to sign up for. And those programs then allow you to bond as a unit before your scouts break off to go off to their merit badges. So you can see some of those listed here in those activities. Each of our campsites at camp comes equipped with a bunch of different facilities. So as you can see here, we have 10 summer camp campsites that are available to you. 70 of these sites include their own showers within the campsite. We're working on adding additions to that as they come available. The farthest campsite we have is about 3/4 of a mile from the dining hall, so it's not a terrible walk to anywhere. They all have 2 and 4-person tents, flagpoles, bulletin boards, and different patrol meeting areas and permanent structured meeting areas in those as well. One of the things that we're working on this year is some campsite improvements and some improvements in the facilities that are there at camp. So there'll be some addition of some flush toilets, hopefully, but there will also be some addition of campsite equipment going into their tents and bunks, some new tents and bunks coming up. And at Matituck, we offer over 82 different merit badges. So you can look at our merit badge time schedule, which is posted in our program guide on the website, campmatituck.org for that. But we have a wide variety of merit badges to appeal to all of our scouts and what they may be interested in. And then we're offering some specialty weeks this year. Our specialty weeks run during our week 1 program. So they would be from June 29th through, June 29th through July 5th. We offer a Trail to Eagle Week. The Trail to Eagle Week is run by some members of the advancement team from the Western District of the Connecticut Rivers Council. So these are going to be actual individuals that are going to sit on Eagle boards, review your paperwork, and also coach you through the process. So what they would do at this particular week is they make a mock Eagle project and they kind of put everyone through that so that you understand the planning phases, what's going to happen in fundraising, how you would actually put together your Eagle packet to be able to go in and get that to go right through. And then they also offer several Eagle required merit badges, as well as participating in some of the everyday programs that occur at camp. And then our new addition is the Outdoor Skills Week. So in Outdoor Skills Week, we're going to focus on those traditional Scout Skills merit badges throughout the week with some outpost camping as the scout that would come to that. So you'll be camping in a more rural area of camp, but then you'll also participate in pioneering, cooking, camping, wilderness survival merit badge, and orienteering. So those merit badges will take place during that Outdoor Skills Week. And we are once again offering our Service Corps Week for the Order of the Arrow. I met today with the Shatani Lodge, and so we're going to offer that once again. And what that does is that does mornings of service and afternoons of adventure and fun. So you get to participate in a lot of the fun camp activities. We go zip lining one day. We do the Cope course one day. There's water activities one afternoon, and then there's morning of service to help with different projects around camp. So all those are exciting specialty weeks that we have to offer. And every week at camp, we offer what's known as the Trailblazer program. The Trailblazer program is like our traditional, what used to be called a provisional scout. But at Matituck, we refer to them as Trailblazers. And this is the opportunity for you to come with your unit or without your unit, or as a supplement to your regular week at camp. You can come for additional weeks. You can come if your troop maybe was going a week that you couldn't attend and you still want to come to camp. The cool part about this program is that it takes a bunch of scouts that didn't know each other, that from different units, from different backgrounds and different walks of life, puts them together with one of our staff members that's a trained adult leader, and they build a unit. And from that unit there, they are super successful. They go out, they do things. A lot of times we end up seeing our Trailblazers winning our camp-wide game every week, and the enthusiasm that comes out of this group is impressive. So it's a great opportunity, a great program for people to get involved in. And then if you need any more or additional information, I'm happy to talk to anyone about camp and the offerings that we have this year. So you could reach me at jeremynelson@scouting.org, or all the information happens to be at campmatituck.org. So
All
thanks.
right, Jeremy.
Hey, Jeremy, Pat, hey, let me jump in real quick. Jeremy, you know I went to Camp Matituck as a kid.
I do.
Did you know I was a senior patrol leader of the Trailblazers Patrol?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Spectacular. So Mark
yeah.
can speak to the success of being a Trailblazer.
Small world.
Yep.
You were using Dr. Seuss language. What was that in the middle of there? Some activity?
Which one? Orientorkeling?
Yes, that would be the one. What is orientorkeling?
Orientorkeling is orienteering while snorkeling.
Of course.
right? So why wouldn't we orient? It's like underwater basket weaving, Pat.
Well, we've really got at Webster, we've got into underwater rabbit raising. It's not a very,
Oh, well,
not a very high
pretty
success
typical.
rate.
Yeah, very high success rate.
All right, moving on. I want to invite Jeff Sizer up. Prior to becoming the camp director at Warcomen, Jeff was a two-time, you heard that, folks, two-time course director of NYLT. And we offer two courses in the Connecticut Rivers Council that's open to anybody in our council and out of our council. So, Jeff, you want to hit lead off on
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, so NYLT is awesome. I want to say, I think that's the number one thing out of everything that I've done in scouting, but even all outside of life. Pat mentioned that, I was course director for NYLT on two different occasions, and that experience of in itself for me, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about communication. I learned a lot about leadership. I learned a lot about how units are supposed to function. And those similar skills and those similar experiences are had by our scouts as well. This is a program for scouts that are first class rank and at least age 13. It combines hands-on experiences with classroom presentations to outpost treks that really relate to team building, to communication, to goal setting, to conflict resolution. And all these things together make for an excellent training experience. It is led by youth leaders as well as adults. We simulate of how a troop is structured. The adult staff are like your scoutmasters. Your youth staff are your patrol leaders council, and then the participants are the patrols themselves. The two dates, one of those things that always comes up when I ask people why they never went to NYLT is they never knew the dates. Well, the dates are July 6th to the 12th at Camp Warcomen and August 3rd to the 9th at JN Webster. The cost is $410, and I could see that a lot of folks on here by just seeing the attendance are unit leaders. And one of the best ways that you can help us promote NYLT is as a unit to sponsor a scout or two from your unit to come. Identify scouts who are good and tell them how this would be a great experience, that it is an investment for your troop. And your troop and the experience that not only these scouts bring with them back to the troop and then impart on everyone else is something that is definitely worth the expense for your unit. It is a great investment. And honestly, if you combine NYLT youth with Wood Badge trained adults, your troop program will just skyrocket.
Jeff, do you want to announce the course director for the Warcomen course?
His name is Matt Kerr. He was a scoutmaster for the boys troop last year on course. And then the course director for JNW is, I don't know, Pat, you want me to say?
Yeah, it's Ray Langlois, who is a member of Troop 39 in Marlboro for a long time and experienced scouter. So we have both courses have experienced course directors are recruiting top shelf youth staff. I am always impressed with the caliber of the youth staff that do, by and large, the instruction at NYLT. And I'll just the elephant in the room on this is that it seems that some troops have a long tradition of sending somebody to the NYLT, or troops just they never have at all. And so I guess I would challenge the troops that it's not part of your culture to go to NYLT to take it a look. This is not the same course it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. National has updated them. We've taken a hometown spin on it by making a longer week and then doing a patrol adventure day in the middle of it, which is kind of your traditional summer camp type stuff. These are pretty quality programs. So I kind of
and when Pat
everybody to take a
mentions
look.
about troops that aren't necessarily NYLT troops, the troop I'm associated with, Troop 3, was really not an NYLT troop since till 4 years ago, where we needed some sort of new energy, and we were like, oh, let's try this NYLT thing, and then a few years later, I was, a couple of years later, I'm the course director, and then a lot of the scouts, were on staff and everything like that. And just realized, obviously, going through the NYLT or being a participant makes you eligible to be on the staff. And if you're a staff, you're able to go through NYLT as a youth staff member. That's really an amazing, an even more complete experience that.
So youth leadership training, often troops will send somebody in the pipeline going up. So we'll transition then to Camp Warcomen. This is a little bit of like a taste of what it is. It's a teaser, if you will, because there's a lot more to the program than what Jeff is going to highlight. So he's going to kind of talk a little bit about what the overall program is, and then go a little more in depth to the week-long programs here. But there will be much more about this as time goes on. So Jeff, you're up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Pat. And I guess for the tagline that I put, and I've been thinking about a tagline because I was challenged by a good scouting friend of mine to come up with a tagline. And somebody, when I was actually talking recently about the opportunities at Camp Racoma, and they were like, "Man, I didn't know this. You have a lot to offer." So I figured the tagline would be for the summer: "We have a lot to offer." And this summer, yes, we have programs year round. But during the summer, our program is quite different from what is offered at Camp Mattituck and at J.N. Webster. But it is very different, and it's kind of geared towards in a much different way. I see a lot of folks on here that are most likely going to a week-long resident camp at Mattituck and at Webster, and these programs are very different, and they're designed for scouts to augment their summer experience, as well as if you do have scouts for whatever reason are not able to do a long-term summer camp experience. This is a way to keep them involved in scouting, keep them active during the summer, because frankly, if they're not doing anything at all during the summer to do with scouting, they're missing out on a lot, and a lot of times they don't come back at all. So this is an opportunity. These are opportunities to keep, to augment the great scouting programs that we have throughout Connecticut Rivers Council. And we have a variety of merit badge days that we have throughout the summer. We have 4 weeks of merit badge days. 2 weeks are focused on aquatics. The other 2 weeks are focused on outdoor skills. And those 1 or 2 day merit badge programs are day experiences, and provide scouts with an opportunity to earn certain merit badges related to camp. Our cooking merit badge, which goes on for 3 days, is back, as well as fly fishing, which is also a very popular program. This year we've actually expanded our scuba open water certification camp. It's a 5-day, 4-night session. And this is open to scouts. It's open to adults. And the scuba itself is conducted by the Connecticut Scuba Academy, a great group of master instructors that provide the scouts with a great learning experience. It does include overnight camping. We have provisional scoutmasters that work with the scouts for the week. We have meals. We have evening activities for them to do after they finish scuba diving. And yes, the biggest question I usually get is, can they earn scuba merit badge? Yes, scuba merit badge is part of this. And it is, and we have a pristine lake that's really a great experience for all things scuba. And continuing on to that, this summer, we're going to have 2 weekends of our additional certification course, where scouts who are already certified, as well as adults who are already certified, can come back to camp for a Friday evening through Sunday midday program and earn additional certifications in things like night diver, underwater photography, navigation. So the certification we focused on there, but in the end, it means more diving and more cool stuff that you can do with a great team led by the Connecticut Scuba Academy. This year, a new program, something that we are developing here, grassroots in Connecticut Rivers Council, is a leadership development mini week. A Sunday through a Wednesday night experience, really where a lot of the programs, incorporated through NYLT, that we are going to give the chance for scouts to sign up, whether they come with members of their troop, whether they come as individuals provisionally. We're going to apply a lot of the activities that come from an NYLT course, come from a leadership development type program, to those scouts, and give them a chance to form a unit, participate in various activities and challenges together. There will be opportunities related, in a limited way to advancement, to planning towards, your advancement and the times that you should be doing certain things. We're working on collaborating with leadership in the outside community to come in and meet with our scouts. So really the focus is leadership development. And as you can see, the focus of Camp Racoma is leadership development, short-term opportunities, as well as scuba. And that's what we're making available to to our community. The camp is also open for camping throughout the summer. Scouts can come with units, come as families. Last year we had units that had went to another summer camp, then came to signed some of their scouts up for the cooking merit badge, rented a campsite, and stayed in camp from that Monday morning through that Wednesday evening, and had a great time. And that's something that can be done as a troop, as a family. You can incorporate some of the programs involved. In summary, we have a lot to offer. Summer camp is open at Camp Workomen, and we look forward to seeing you there.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Excited about the new leadership program. It looks pretty good. So just an overview of Jay and Webster. We're excited. This is our 62nd season this year. Those of you who are unfamiliar, Jay and Webster is a 1,200-acre scout reservation in Ashford, Connecticut, which is just about 10 miles east of the Storrs, the main campus of the University of Connecticut. In 2024, we were the second largest scout camp in New England. This year already, we have scouts from all over the council, all over New England, and as far as Virginia and Texas, who are coming up to camp this year. I think last year the farthest traveled was from Arizona, who came out as well. So it's a good collection. We have 23 campsites on the reservation, and in addition to the Scouts BSA program, which we refer to as the base camp, we house the Cub Country, which is our Cub Scout day camp. And as Jeff alluded to before, week 7 is when we host the always sold out NYLT program as well. The camp is for all scouts of different ability groups, troops that may be brand new, troops that have highly developed with a leadership structure. We are built for a good experience, both facilities and program wise, for boys troops and girls troops, and as well as some of our pilot program units that will be attending camp this summer as well. We consider ourselves a kind of traditional camp program that understands that both scouting and youth have evolved over time. So we try to take that piece of tradition and constantly, keep the lore, keep the things that if you attended camp in 1964 were a part of it, but have evolved it into 2025. So the principles are the same, the methods and the process and how we do that has evolved with the time. We are an open program camp, which means that in the mornings, so it's the opposite of what our friends at Matatuck do. We have merit badge programs in 3 blocks. Some of them are double blocks, depending on the skill level, and then 1 block in the early afternoon. But from 3 to 5, 7 to 8, all of our program areas are open. So a scout and their buddy can go down and go swimming, can go to the ranges, can do that type of thing. We offer a number of troop and patrol activities, which you can sign up ahead of time, that you work as a troop or patrol to go through. And we kind of believe as a philosophy that if your troop wants to do something and it's safe and it meets the principles of scouting, then our answer is going to be yes. And so the program's tiered off. The first tier is kind of your traditional program areas: outdoor skills, outdoor adventure, ecology, our Apex Center, which is our tech center, that type of stuff. Our second tier is more pointed towards older scouts, right? So again, for our newest scouts, we have the first class path, which is a program area that introduces them to the merit badge program, but it goes through those first year camper skills as a scout is working their way to first class. Our second tier really is going after our 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. So we are continuing the ATV program. Some of you had asked because you had heard National has discontinued their direct sponsorship with Polaris. So there was a question about that. I'm pleased to say that our council has made the decision to continue with the ATV program as it's very, very popular. So scouts that are age 14 plus who sign up and take what's called the E-course, which is a kind of an online orientation prior to coming to camp, then can do our skills course while they're here. We offer an advanced kind of survival skills program that's combined with range and target sports called Area 51. Our always very popular Cowboy Action program, where you see Cowboy Jim in the picture there, doing that for our older scouts. And we have a couple of other things that are just not quite ready for press yet, that we're working on, that our team is really excited about for our older scouts, in addition to the kind of the normal camp fare that exists. And obviously our third tier, we consider is our specialty programs or our advanced programs. So week 7, we opened, for reference, on June 22nd, is week 1. So we run 7-week season through August. And week 7, we're going to offer our chef prep program. We're going to offer our fish camp. We're going to offer some of our other specialty programs. NYLT is in that way, and that is our recall week, where we tend to see some of the largest returners of scouts, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But we offer a number of discounts for second or third returning week scouts. Every year we have a couple of scouts who are at camp all 7 weeks. And so that is, we always make a special award for them at the end of the 7th week for having been here all season long. And usually we hire them the next year and they work for us. So, but there are a few that do that. We're also excited about some facilities upgrades to the property. This picture is from June of last year, where those of you that were at camp, we opened the brand new Peter Perry Welcome Center, which was functional beyond belief, with our new state-of-the-art trading post, our health center, our office building, as well as we were able to reopen the Heritage Center Museum and classroom space as well. And so this photo is from a warm day for the official ribbon cutting as well. And the momentum has continued. This year, we have a couple of projects that we're excited about. Our long-term partnership with Stanley Black & Decker, which is a Connecticut-based company. They're out of New Britain. They make tools and other construction type materials. You may remember last year, they purchased new tents, 100 new tents for the camp. They purchased a new UTV for the health center and the director. Well, this year, they have donated to the council $250,000 to begin a bathroom renovation project in our campsite, which is going to continue over multiple years. So we're really focusing on the brand track this summer, which is sites 8, 9, and 10. We're doing some work and expanding site 9. So there'll be a 9A and a 9B, where before it was just there. And then we're going to be installing, and you can see the picture of these new bathhouses that will have flush toilets, showers in these clusters as well. And we're going to continue this project over multiple years in different parts of the camp, including the files tract, the coveted files tract on the other side of the lake, sites 11, 12, 12A, 12B in that area as well. And the new part of site 9B is going to have a pavilion, which 12 years ago we started a project to put. The Friends of Webster started a project to put a pavilion in every campsite, and we're 2 away from having the entire camp set that way. So we're really excited about the work there between the benefactors. Ranger Austin and his team has been working hard, and the work that the Friends of Webster does to get camp ready. At the end of the day, we realize that scouts come to camp for all different reasons, all different backgrounds. So we try to have a varied program. A robust merit badge offerings. We're rotating some around. National made some merit badge requirement changes this year that we're going to be pushing out to you that affects how some of these work. But we chose this kind of slide deck for a reason. When you have your traditional scout skills, you think about cooking, campfires, basic stuff, as well as some of our more adventure type stuff and specialty things. So, if you want to learn to be a blacksmith, we have industrial arts. You want to learn emergency services, there's offerings there. If you're a climber, you have the ability to do that offsite. And traditional scout skills is, at the end of the day, the bedrock of the program. And much like Jeremy mentioned with the Trailblazers, we have the robust Thunderbirds, whoop, whoop, which is our provisional program. As well, the Thunder Nest is up in Site 2, and this is always a good crowd as well when it comes to that. In camp, everything changes and nothing changes. The tenement of what it's like for scouts every year is consistent. We're happy to report that we have a high return rate of our camp staff. We're going to be over the next month rolling out some of the appointments there. And we're going to talk a little bit later about recruitment of new folks. But one of the things that I believe has made us successful has been a consistency in a lot of positions of folks who continue to contribute year after year. And although I do tip my hat to Jeremy for the coffee cart. Just want to point out the original coffee cart was in the 1980s at J.N. Webster. So we didn't run a patent on it, but adult leader programs is an important part of what we do because you take time to come to camp. So if you could pick up some training, if you could do some networking, and you can get some support and be able to do the things you need to do while you're here, that's important. So I would invite you to look at our different social media channels, our website, which is gotowebster.org. All the information is going to be published there as it goes forth. Just kind of number-wise, we're looking at a big data dump coming up here in February with program information. And then the merit badges are going to go live for registration in March. We're going to talk about that as well. My contact information is here. And I just wanted to, before I yield the floor, thank everybody for joining the call tonight and your good spirits as we get ready for camp and the leadership that you've taken on. So now we're going to get to kind of the boring stuff, if you will, but essential stuff for us to be planning in January. So I want to kick it over to kind of Michelle and Mark a little bit to just talk about the campership process. We talked at the beginning about our initiative to raise funds for campership, but what does it look like on the side of a scout or their family or a troop applying for resources?
Michelle, we should have coordinated our pony show here. I'll defer to you. And okay, go for it.
So there is a campership link. That being said, most parents don't know what district they are, so please make sure that they know what district they are so it does connect to the unit. It makes it a lot easier for the unit leader or for me to connect them in the registration. Once April 15th happens, we will have the committee go through the list and we'll keep the campership open for anybody that is a late sign up, but the ones that are on the list before April 15th are the ones that get to see the campership funds first. Inside the registration, in the actual youth, there's a little button you click and it will automatically fill in whatever the parent filled in on the campership form for help that they needed, and it only goes up to 50%. We don't do any higher than 50 on the council side. That being said, Mark is working on other options. But that will be only if Camp Frog kicks off and goes well.
Yeah, let me jump in there really quick, Michelle. Our council, between our camp assistants and our registration assistants, we fund roughly $150,000 of financial assistance. And that is now 1 out of every 7 of our scout families. So we serve over 7,000, roughly 1,000 families do take advantage of our assistance program one way or the other. That's a lot of money, and it's one of the most important things we can do, and it's one of the tightest areas for us. So emphasis on our popcorn sale. If we haven't sold popcorn as a unit in the last couple of years, the popcorn sale is revamped, super easy, and a great way for scouts and families to earn their way to camp. So we look for families to sell popcorn or make an attempt at getting their scout to camp, the unit helping that scout and family, and then the council's campership program really funded through Popcorn and Camp for All.
So at the end of the day, if you have a scout that is still prohibitive to come to camp, we want to have a conversation about it. So, if you miss the deadline or, you've exhausted all your resources, please engage us in a conversation rather than just telling a family, no, it's not going to be able to work.
Yeah, I was going to say all the friends group do have other campership programs outside of the council campership programs that can try to help in any way. But remember, the form has to be filled out first before you can click the little button in the registration. And I don't need any payment, but please go all the way through checkout and say pay at door.
Right. And that's April 15th, and you can drop the link in the chat, Michelle. Perfect. Again, every scout to camp. So engage with us when you think that you may have some hardships or some cases that a family may be struggling. It's all about conversation. I don't want to hear in September that a family didn't come for financial reasons and we didn't talk about it. So that being said, kind of moving ahead, our camp fee system for this year, the key date for everybody is going to be May 1st, right? So if a scout is paid in full by May 1st, the fee is $560. It's a lot of money. We recognize that. I also just want to be clear that we have gone well out of our way to build budgets and to kind of structure ourselves to keep camp affordable. If you do a quick reference of other camps, particularly in New England and New York and those areas, the base camp fee is much higher than $560. There is a little asterisk there. If you were a unit with a Save a Spot with the initiative, I think it was prior to September 15th, it is $550 a scout, and that is if it is paid in full by May 1st. After that, it's $585 as a regular camp fee. It's important to note that Webelos crossovers, right? Scouts that are new to scouting with camp, we always afford them the lowest camp rate. Because in many cases, the pack may have not done the full transition to the troop when you're sending the stuff in initially. On our website, there is a couple of user guides, how to do stuff, how to navigate the Black Pug system, which is our management program. And Michelle always provides excellent customer service when the camp directors don't know how to answer a question. So I don't know, anything you want to add on fees, either Mark or Michelle or the other directors? No, I got a couple of heads going sideways.
Michelle, we did there's a question in the Q&A about campership, and I just want to make sure we answer it correctly for you. Is the down payment required for a campership, or if they click pay at the door, will that all get covered once we know what the campership is?
There is no minimum payment due. Once you go through the pay at door system, it locks in the registration, so I can apply the campership and then you can pay the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And then Jeremy, merit badges.
Thanks, Pat. So merit badge registration is once again going to be done through Blackpug. The Blackpug is the online registration system that we've been referencing, whether it was paying as you go through for your campership or whatever else happens to be happening there. As you can see on the registration or on the slide here, and Pat referenced it earlier, the registration for that's going to open up in March. So as you go through the process, you're going to add your scouts in, and then they're going to, through the different time slots that are available. I know, as was said before, J&W offers their merit badges in the morning with one early afternoon session. At Matatuck, we offer our merit badges starting at 11 a.m., so I guess a late morning session to the afternoon. Same time frames, or same amount of time, just different time frames. And what'll happen is as you go through the system, the registration system will not let you overlap kids into merit badges, right? So Blackpug's really great for that. It allows us to be able to have the scouts sign up for the merit badges that they need to get or want to get, and it still won't let their schedule get messed up. So it's been a real asset since we've started using it to help us schedule those things. For unit leaders, it does a lot for you in the fact that it'll give you schedules where you can print off where your entire troop is during merit badge time. You can print off individual schedules to hand out to your kids so that they know where they're going. They're your scouts throughout the different portions of the day, and it allows really that access for everyone to see those things. There are some, speaking generally of the merit badge program, there are some prerequisites for some of our merit badges that they need to be done before you come to camp in order for the scout to completely earn the merit badge, or they may leave with a partial and then have to complete that portion afterwards. But the goal is that every kid is successful in the program that they're in, and that they leave camp with something, whether it be the partial or the completed merit badge. There's an achievement made no matter what in the merit badge program as they move forward from there.
And
There
I'll
are
just
some
go
additional,
ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, Pat.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say some of the merit badges and have some additional costs associated with them, whether it be purchasing a rocket kit, a basketry kit, a leatherworking kit, or some of the shooting merit badges may have some additional costs as well. So as we go through the different program guides that come out and different information that come out, be sure to reference those things if you have any scouts taking those merit badges that you believe may have an additional fee in those. Pat.
Yeah, and the only thing I was going to add, those who utilizing the ATV program, the registration is done through Black Pug as well. So I'd recommend, early when you've identified those scouts through the program, get them up, secure a spot. There are limited spots at each program hour that we offer there, and it's done here. So don't wait till the last minute for the ATV program.
I would also say that no one knows your scouts better than you do, right? And that's why there's an adult leader sign off for each of these merit badges, and that's why you're the adult leader that's going to actually sign them up, or someone from your unit's going to put them in there. So remember that the goal ultimately is that the kids leaving with success in mind, and that they're learning something as they come through it. So you know your scouts, and you know what merit badges they might be successful at. So make sure that you're coaching them through that process as they go to pick their merit badges for the summer season. Michelle, we have a question with a hard date. When will merit badge registration be open?
Oh, she's going to turn the tables on us.
When will I have the list of merit badges?
Look for a firm release date as we get closer to March, but it'll be in the early side of March.
The early side of March for Chris, who's asking on the live stream here. Just as a reminder for those watching the webinar that the Q&A is open. I've been answering most of the questions as they come through, but as if you popped up and we were talking about the subject, I did try to answer it live. So.
Great, thank you. I would be remiss if I did not channel all of the good healthcare providers that work with us in our camps as RNs and EMTs. That now is a good time to begin the conversation with your families about physical forms, health forms, and having that annual review. We are required through our accreditation from Scouting America for that each participant has a current physical within 1 year of attending camp. So it has to be current. A couple things just of note is a lot of times families will come to us and say, hey, I have this sports physical from baseball this spring. Is that okay? Yes, that is okay. Staple it to the scout form and fill in all the things that are not on the sports form. If you are a new unit attending from outside of the Connecticut Rivers Council, there is a couple of additional forms that are required by the state of Connecticut, prescription of medications, that our packet has all of this in it. Not everything in the packet applies to you. It's particularly an individual care plan. If a scout is on a care plan, which is a common term that is used in the education world and all that, the family will know that. If a scout is not on a care plan, then that page is not applicable. But what is it, Part D or Part C, Jeremy? I think it's Part D, which is a unique Connecticut Rivers Council page.
Yes.
As well. And so, if a scout has more severe medical condition, severe allergies, those types of things, there is an allergy treatment plan that is attached to it as well. So I guess my point is, take a look at our form, and particularly if you're our guests here in Connecticut from out of council, it may slightly differ from a camp you previously attended, just to make sure that the Connecticut specific stuff is there as well. So start now. We are working about the possibility of having a camp physical day at one or multiple of our camps, where we get some volunteers to be able to help those that may have insurance problems where they can't get one in time for camp. So look for some of that information as the spring goes on. But I think the seasoned camp scoutmaster or camp coordinator would say, if the message to parents is now about physical camp forms, that it helps you get to where you need to be as we go prior to camp. And I will just say, from a state regulation point of view, when our inspector comes in unannounced and reviews all the regulations for youth camps, they may be at camp for 3 hours and they spend the bulk of that time in the health center reviewing documentation, all that. So we, as providers, are held to a pretty high standard, and we appreciate the work that you do, knowing that this is one of the most difficult parts about being a camp coordinator as well. Kind of moving ahead, Jeremy, talking about camp staff recruitment, which is going on right now at all of our camps.
Absolutely. So I can't emphasize enough that so many of our unit leaders that come to any of our camps talk about the greatest asset we have isn't the campsites, the bathrooms, the land, or the property, but the biggest asset that we have at any of our camps is our camp staff. It's the personalities, the people that come back and forth. Jeff referenced earlier that people give money to people, basically is what he was saying when he was talking about Camp for All. Although that's the truth, right? But the truth and the beauty of camp is the connections that are made from the staff to the youth, and coming back and seeing kids grow up and seeing staff members grow up and having those connections, and having kids that come back, or scouts that come back year after year to camp to see the same staff members and know that you're going to see those familiar faces. So being a camp staff member affords you some incredible opportunities. Not only will I guarantee it will change your life, I guarantee that you're going to have the opportunity to change the life of someone else and make people's lives a better place. So I can't emphasize enough the importance of having good quality staff members at all of our properties. There's nothing I'm more proud of in camp and in the things that I do at camp than the staffs at all of our Connecticut Rivers Council camps. Whether it's the staff at Camp Roccoman, the staff at J&W, or the staff at Mattatuck, the importance of those kids and what they do to put on incredible program is great. And I'm incredibly proud of our camp staffs throughout the council. And I hope that you, as adult leaders in your units, encourage your scouts to become staff members, as it is a changing experience for them. I promise they're going to come back better leaders and better scouts for the opportunity they have. So please do encourage them to become staff members. Applications are available on all 3 of our websites. And I'm sure that if you can't get in touch with one of us, if you got in touch with Mark or Michelle, they would be happy to direct you to a way to become a camp staff member. So by all means, please encourage.
And I will just point out that camp staffs are not all the same type of person, right? We have the youngest staff member who's 15 years old and is a strong leader in their home troop. In our case, the oldest staff member is 82 years old, and there's a strong core of college students, teachers, right? People, professors, as well as folks everywhere in between as well. So, a lot of times people who come to our camps for the first time, they talk about experiences in other camps saying, oh, it's run by all old people, or it's a bunch of kids and like 2 adults. Like I feel we do a pretty good job of having a very diverse experience wise, our camp staff as well. So we need the best and the brightest folks that are available. So we'd encourage applications. We're all doing interview process right now. And just keep in mind too, as an adult, if you have the summer off, or you're a nurse and you want to spend a week in camp, like we have needs, and we would love to have you part of the team for as much or as little as your time that as you're willing to give as well. So check that out. I also want to give I want to give a plug and a shout out to the Order of the Arrow, which is Scouting's National Honor Society. The lodge here in Connecticut, the Shertani Lodge, is stepped up and is going to fund a campaign for our Cub Scouts to get more Cub Scouts into camp. So we appreciate with that. But the OA is an honor society. There are annual dues, and those of you that are outside of our council, your council has a local lodge that supports camping and good scouting as well. So if you're an OA member and you haven't engaged with your lodge recently, now is a great time, because they're putting their feet forward in both service to our camps as well as financial backing of our camps as well. And I'm sure any lodge chief in the country, which is the top youth leader right now, would say it's all about making sure their membership renews and we pay your dues. And I paid my OA dues in December. I know, Jeremy, you paid your dues?
Absolutely. I am a Shetani Lodge ticket holder, Pat.
Oh my. All right, so this kind of brings us to the Q&A piece as the last piece here. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Jeremy can kind of be our host here and kind of throw out any of these types of questions that hadn't been answered. I looked at the pre-submitted questions. Somebody asked me or asked in the column summer camp 2025 on a scale of 1 to 10. What will this summer camp be? I have my answer. Let's go around the horn first. Jeremy, what's your answer? Scale 1 to 10,
12, Pat.
10 being to the moon, 1 being eh.
It's
What
a
is it?
12, Pat.
It's a
Absolutely a
12.
12. Yes.
12. I thought you said 12 pack. 12
No.
pack. Okay. Yeah.
12.
Jeff, what's this summer going to be? 1 to 10 for you? Jeff is still calculating it. Oh, you're on mute, my friend. You're
Jeff,
so
you're muted.
excited you forgot to unmute.
No, I think we're going to Pluto. If you're going to the moon, Pluto. Yeah, I don't know if it's still a planet. I guess it isn't, but that's where we're going. Camp is really the best,
All right.
and it's such a great thing. And like I say, scouting, it's really about leadership development. It's about those experiences. Yes, we like to get the merit badges and everything, but it's really about the journey. And as Baden Powell said, it's worth the whole year of what you learn in the classroom, because you learn life skills.
So I want to make sure Michelle gets to weigh in here. 1 to 10 this summer. What's this going to be for you?
It's going to be a 20.
A 20. All right, Mark. High bar here. The moon, Pluto, 12, a 20.
It is a 10 out of 10 for sure. I've seen professionally over 25 camps nationwide. You guys are the finest. I'm not just saying that. I mean, obviously, one of the camps we have here in Connecticut, I went to as a kid, so that's near and dear to my heart. My daughter was on camp staff at Webster. I've actually been at Warcomen more than the other two camps combined. We just have fantastic offerings, and it is going to be 10 out of 10.
Great. All right, Jeremy, anything else in the chat before we wrap up for the evening?
Michelle, there were two questions. I think you may have answered one, not live, but typing, but I just want to make sure. There was a question about a scout who has not yet crossed over, but wants to apply for campership.
I did answer it. Yes, do apply. If you know the unit they're crossing over, use that unit instead of the unit they're currently in. That way because that's the way we decipher whether it's a cub campership versus a troop campership.
Okay, thank you. Question on
I just popped up the question there too.
Okay, question on medical form. Does the physical include the medications list on it to take the place of the medications form? Also, does a physical take the place of C in the form?
So if again, it's hard to compare because every school district has a slightly different version. Every sports team does, right? We're gonna, if you come with a physical form that has medication separate, which the doctor's signature is underneath, that type of stuff, we are going to staple it to a Scouting America packet and ask to fill in any information that is not answered on the other form. So that was my answer, non-answer.
And then there was a question about a second week discount that was up before, but I don't know if anyone saw that.
I answered. I said yes.
Okay.
Yes. What is I'm having a brain freeze. What is our second week discount?
150, right?
150 off the lowest rate.
Correct.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Well, this, as we said before, is just the beginning of the discussion. We're in January here, heading into February. The groundhog or the duck in my part of the world will be making a decision soon about if we're going to have an early spring or a late winter. But our camps are off and running to get ready to go. And so you're going to start to see progressively between now and summer camp, more information coming out of us, more conversations, additional webinars that go into much more detail down the road. But our goal tonight is really to orient those of you that are brand new to Connecticut, kind of what we're all about and what we offer and some of the high level stuff, and to really get you thinking about the process going forward. And last question under the before we hit the go, the question is CIT program at Warcomen. What say you, Mr. Sizer? You're on mute, my friend.
Yes, Camp Workomen has a CIT program, just like the other camps. It's an opportunity for shadowing of counselors, as well as an opportunity for them to grow and hopefully be part of our camp staff moving forward.
Great. Thank you. And I believe the other question was around the prior, if you're taking the second week discount, this could be a second week that is at any camp. It could be a national high adventure base. The key part is that the week that you're discounting comes after the week that you've done already as well. And unfortunately, we can't count like a February Florida sea base as part of the summer. So within the summer season as well. So. All right, with that, look for more information from all of us. But we appreciate everybody spending some time with us tonight on a Sunday night. I don't know, the Bills still playing. I know we're opposite some football going on here. I know, which is always dangerous this time of year. But we appreciate you taking the choice. And those of you that did split screen as well, I totally understand. So, all right, folks, look forward to chatting with you more and have a great night.
Thank you all.